Greece is not doing well. The country is suffering from a contracting economy and record high unemployment. 1/4 of the employable population is not gainfully employed today. Additionally, Greece has to cope with the unsolved problem of extremely high public debt. It does not look like budgetary discipline alone will enable Greece to achieve a level of debt that it can finance without help from abroad. This situation will last for the foreseeable future. Without the bailout programs financed by the European Rescue Fund, EFSF, and the International Monetary Fund, and without the bond buying program of the European Central Bank, Greece would have gone bankrupt a long time ago. The capital markets have not been lending money to Greece since the year 2010. For Europe and the global economy, it would certainly be economically feasible to cope with a sovereign default of Greece. At the end of 2012, the level of government debt in Greece was 340 billion euros. This is only 3% of all government debt in the EU. A first reduction on Greek debt was granted in the spring of 2012. At that time, private bondholders had to write down claims on Greek bonds amounting to 100 billion euros. This was positively received by the financial markets. It was important that the outcome be the result of negotiations and not a payment stop announced unilaterally. Meanwhile, it has become very clear that this haircut was not enough to eliminate the country's debt substantially. At the end of 2012, the finance ministers of the Eurozone agreed that the bailout money borrowed from the Rescue Fund, the EFSF, and the bilateral loans from the Euro countries to Greece will only be repaid 15 years later than originally planned. At the same time, Greece was given a period of grace. The country will not be required to pay interest to the Rescue Fund, EFSF, until 2021. This saves Greece an amount of more than 40 billion euros. Today is completely unclear how the country will be able to return to economic growth. The austerity policy imposed by the international creditors is accelerating the tendency of the economy to shrink. A large proportion of the financial funds transferred by the EFSF and the IMF does not directly flow into the Greek economy, but is used to repay old and maturing government debt. And this is why so many Greeks are protesting against the financial assistance schemes. Because in order to actually receive the money promised from the Euro bailout program, the Greeks have to accept substantial cuts to the salaries of civil servants, to pensions, and to transfer payments from the state. But in return, they hardly see how they could profit from the fresh financial assistance transferred. Vice versa, many people in countries like Germany, Austria, and Slovakia do not understand why so many Greeks are protesting vehemently against the bailout, despite the fact that Europe transfers so much money to Athens. In this situation, some experts have been advising Greece to give up the euro and to return to the drachma as their national currency. The drachma would depreciate considerably against the euro. This could help the country with its exports. Greece, however, does not have an exporting sector of significance today, with the exception of tourism. At the same time, one thing is certain. Greece's government debt would not automatically decline if the country were to exit the Eurozone, because the debt was incurred in euro. And especially those international institutions that lent the money to Greece in the recent past, the European Rescue Fund, the EFSF, and the International Monetary Fund, want their money back in euros. The same applies to the European Central Bank, which owns Greek bonds in a total nominal value of 50 billion euros. For this reason alone, an exit might cost more than the bailout measures already decided. And for the same reason, the EU, the ECB, and leading EU member states, such as Germany, are investing great efforts to keep Greece in the euro area, and in this manner defend the Eurozone as a whole. It will only be possible in a few years to estimate whether or not this strategy is successful and how much the taxpayers of the rich countries in Europe will have to pay.